All right, so I got one section done. I'm going to continue with future sections. Here's my one section. I had this much coil left over. Put that aside and save it. Got my next thing of clay. So I'm just feeling, kind of squishing it, stretching it, feeling where I need to push a little more, a little less. Remember the trick? Whoop, give it a little twist if you need to. This video is brought to you live and uncut. And by live, I mean live recorded. No edits. One take. This is raw video footage. And you can see the thickness. It's about the size of my thumb. Bring this back. Because the clay is a little drier than I'd like, I'm adding a little water. And I'm not just adding it, I'm like rubbing it in and making it pick up some of the clay, the platelets of the clay. It's creating a little slip. And it's now stickier than just the water would be. All right. Pick up my coil. I'm gonna start trying to get a little height. It was working its way out. I'm gonna give it a little height now. So the first two coils, I did a single coil. For this one, I'm going to have it go up and over. And when you get the feel for clay, it's up to your discretion whether you add a little water to it or not. But you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just having it go right up onto that little, right up onto the start. And I continue coiling so I can use the entire coil. It's more efficient in terms of time, more efficient in terms of material because that was leftover. So I just keep going. Adding a little water underneath. So you can see there's the coil and the next coil bumps right up onto it and this bumps right up again. I'm gonna take some time now to blend those coils together. This hand is supporting it from pushing the clay so that it goes, so that it doesn't like flop out and get huge and unruly. I've often had students who end up with these giant pots because they keep working the clay out and it stretches and they keep going out and out and out. It's easy to go out. It's more difficult to keep to come in and compress the clay. It's not impossible. You can do it. It's just more difficult. I'm not concerned at all with the aesthetic right now. We got to get the function. If it doesn't function, the aesthetic is pointless. And you can see the difference between the thickness of a piece that has been blended twice, like both times, and then this piece. It gets thinner as you blend, so that's fine. It's okay to leave your coils a little thicker. Thin coils can be difficult. So there's a little like corner edge right there. I'm just going to compress that with my fingers back into the walls. So I'm pushing in. I'm trying to get that curve, get a curve on that. If say, all right, let's hypothetically, if there's a spot that's too thin, you're like, oh no, it's really thin right here. That's very wobbly. You can take a little fingertip of water, kind of blend that into that spot, and then you can take a little ball of clay, squish that into like a little disc. I'm trying to make one side rounded, take a little water, put it on that, and apply that to the spot. Not trying, being sure not to trap any air, so you can work like one way to the other. Kind of squish that in. And then blend it into the wall. So that's added mass, that's added clay to that thin spot, and you can make it seamless so that now your piece doesn't have that thin spot. It's much thicker. That's a trick you can do. Tips and tricks. All right, we're gonna go up some more. We're gonna continue. Whenever I slow down and do that, that's because I'm feeling that it's getting a little unruly. And I'm just trying to work it back to round because it's starting to like flop, 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 flop. Sounds good? Thumbs up, man. All right, let's go. Let's get it. Okay, cool. Cool, guys. Cool. I didn't like that edge. So at this point, it's kind of gone up. I want it to come back, start coming back in. So I'm going to kind of pinch and attach this on the inside part of the previous coil. So you can see that it starts to come back in, and you can see that it's pretty wonky. So that's good. That's good. Means that the next videos are going to be easy to. They'll be dramatic enough that you'll be able to see how I get it back to round or as best I can. Hasn't happened yet. I don't know if it's going to work. It'll work. Also kind of creates like a cool hairy texture. Now remember the coils on the inside are not blended. So if you can get a finger in there, great. If it's going to get to the point where it's going to be tricky, but I can reach in there now. You can't really see what I'm doing. I can't even really see what I'm doing. So I'm going by feel. Got to be in tune with my fingertips. I'm supporting from the outside still, making sure that I blend those coils. If there's a gap, there's potential for extra stress in that area. And if there's stress, what happens when things get stressed? They crack, man. They crack under the pressure. And if a pot cracks, it's not nearly as useful, especially if it's supposed to hold something like, I don't know, liquid. I've gone around a couple times. I'm still working on it. There's a little area in here that I want to add a little piece. Yeah, right there. So I did a little fingertip of water. Take a little piece of clay. Little fingertip of water to that. There's the form. I'm going to try and have it come up a little bit. There you go. That's 3 coiling sessions. We're going to do a 4th, maybe a 5th.